Hey everyone, let's travel back in time and picture Africa before Islam arrived. Imagine a land bursting with different cultures, each special in its own way. Religion was super important to people back then. Societies followed traditional religions, passing down beliefs like precious stories. They honored ancestors and worshipped spirits and deities. Think of the ancient Egyptians and their gods and goddesses. Social structures ranged from small family groups to massive empires. The kingdom of 𝐂𝐭 had powerful queens and incredible buildings. Trade routes connected people and goods over huge distances. The trans-Saharan trade route exchanged gold, salt and ivory. This trade brought wealth to empires like Ghana. The Indian Ocean trade route linked East African cities with faraway lands. This sea route allowed for the trading of spices and textiles. These trade networks show how connected Africa was to the world. To sum it up, Africa before Islam was a vibrant mix of cultures, beliefs, and traditions. Now let's fast forward to the 7th century CE when Islam arrived in Africa. This new monotheistic faith, which began in the Arabian Peninsula, would change African societies forever. But here's the thing, Islam didn't arrive in Africa all at once. It was introduced gradually through a series of interactions, mainly through trade and conquest. The first major contact happened when Muslims conquered Egypt in 641 CE. Egypt, with its strategic location and ancient civilization, became a crucial gateway for Islam to spread into Africa. The Muslim armies, led by the skilled general Amr ibn al-As, faced resistance from the Byzantine Empire, which ruled Egypt at that time. However, the Muslims' military strength and their promise of religious tolerance for the local Coptic Christian population eventually led to their victory. With Egypt under Muslim control, the stage was set for Islam to expand further across North Africa. Islam brought new ideas, beliefs, and practices to the region. It also led to the creation of new political and social structures, forever changing the course of African history. From its starting point in Egypt, Islam spread westward along the North African coast. This expansion was fueled by trade, migration, and military campaigns. Coastal port cities were especially open to the new faith. Cities like Alexandria, Tunis, and Tripoli became centers of Islamic learning and culture. Traders played a key role in spreading Islam. Muslim merchants set up trading posts and communities. They brought their faith and shared it with locals. The Berbers were receptive to Islam. Many saw Islam as a force of liberation. They were drawn to its message of equality and justice. The conversion of Berber tribes had a huge impact. It led to powerful Berber Muslim dynasties shaping North Africa. The spread of Islam in North Africa was closely connected to the rise of powerful Islamic empires called caliphates. These caliphates, based in the Middle East, played a vital role in governing the newly conquered territories and promoting Islamic law and scholarship. The Umayyad Caliphate, established in 661 CE, was the first major Islamic empire to rule over North Africa. The Umayyads, with their capital in Damascus, set up a centralized administrative system that helped them solidify their control over the region. They appointed governors to oversee the provinces and collected taxes to fund their administration. The Umayyads also encouraged the spread of Islam by sending scholars and missionaries to teach the new faith. In 750 CE, the Umayyad Caliphate was overthrown by the Abbasids, who established a new dynasty with its capital in Baghdad. The Abbasids continued the work of their predecessors, further strengthening Muslim rule in North Africa and promoting Islamic learning and culture. Under the Abbasids, North Africa experienced a time of economic prosperity and intellectual growth. New centers of learning known as madrasas were established, attracting scholars from all over the Islamic world. Section 5. Conversions and coexistence, a complex religious landscape. The arrival of Islam in North Africa didn't mean that everyone immediately converted to the new faith. Instead, it set off a complex process of religious and cultural change that took centuries to unfold. While many people, especially in cities and among the Berber tribes, embraced Islam, others continued to follow their traditional beliefs. Christianity, which had been the main religion in North Africa under Roman and Byzantine rule, gradually became less influential. However, some communities continued to practice it, particularly in Egypt and Ethiopia. Judaism also had a long history in North Africa, and Jewish communities continued to thrive under Muslim rule. In many cases, Muslims, Christians and Jews lived together peacefully, engaging in trade and cultural exchange. Islamic law gave protected status to Christians and Jews known as dhimmis, allowing them to practice their religions freely as long as they paid a special tax. This policy of religious tolerance contributed to the relative stability and prosperity of Muslim-ruled North Africa. Section 6. Trade routes transformed. The Islamic influence. The arrival of Islam significantly impacted trade routes and commercial activities in North Africa. Muslim traders, with their extensive networks and access to vast markets in the East, played a leading role in expanding and transforming trade. One significant development was that North Africa became part of the vast Islamic trading world. The Islamic world, stretching from Spain in the west to Central Asia in the east, provided new markets for North African goods. Islamic economic principles, such as the prohibition of usury and the emphasis on fair trade, also influenced business practices. The introduction of a common currency, the dinar, made trade and economic growth easier. The trans-Saharan trade, which had long connected North Africa with sub-Saharan Africa, flourished under Muslim rule. Gold, salt, slaves, ivory and other commodities flowed across the Sahara, enriching both regions. The Islamic world's demand for gold, in particular, fueled the growth of powerful empires in West Africa, such as Ghana and Mali, which controlled access to the gold mines. Section 7. New structures of power governance under Muslim rule. The arrival of Islam brought significant changes to how North Africa was governed. New dynasties and empires emerged, adopting Islamic principles of governance and administration. One of the earliest and most influential of these dynasties was the Aghlabid Emirate, which ruled over Ifriqiya, present-day Tunisia and eastern Algeria, from the 9th to the 10th centuries. The Aghlabids, appointed by the Abbasid caliphs, established a powerful and prosperous state. They built impressive mosques and palaces, supported the arts and sciences, and maintained a strong military. Another significant dynasty was the Fatimid Caliphate, which emerged in the 10th century and challenged the Abbasids for supremacy in the Islamic world. The Fatimids, who claimed to be descended from the Prophet Muhammad's daughter Fatima, established their capital in Cairo, Egypt, making it a major center of Islamic learning and culture. These dynasties and others that followed adopted Islamic law known as Sharia as the basis for their legal systems. They established courts to settle disputes and appointed judges known as qadis to administer justice. Section 8. A fusion of cultures, Arab and Berber interactions. When Islam arrived in North Africa, it led to a rich and complex process of cultural exchange and fusion, especially between Arab and Berber cultures. While Islam originated in the Arabian Peninsula, it was the Berbers who played a crucial role in its spread and development in North Africa. One of the most significant areas of cultural exchange was language. Arabic, the language of the Quran and Islamic scholarship, gradually became the language of administration, trade, and religion in North Africa. However, Berber languages continued to be spoken, and in some regions they flourished alongside Arabic. Architecture also reflected the fusion of Arab and Berber traditions. Mosques, built in the Islamic style, often incorporated local architectural elements, such as the use of distinctive horseshoe arches and intricate geometric designs. The Great Mosque of Kairouan in Tunisia, for example, is a stunning example of Islamic architecture that blends Arab and Berber influences. In the world of music and literature too, Arab and Berber traditions intertwined, creating new and vibrant forms of artistic expression. Section 9. A continent transformed, the enduring legacy of Islam. The arrival of Islam in Africa was a pivotal moment that had a profound and lasting impact on the continent. It introduced new religious beliefs, social structures, political systems, and cultural practices that transformed African societies. Islam's message of monotheism and its emphasis on equality and social justice resonated with many Africans, leading to widespread conversions. The establishment of Islamic empires and dynasties brought political stability and economic prosperity to many parts of Africa. The integration of Africa into the vast Islamic trading world opened up new markets and facilitated economic growth. The fusion of Arab and Berber cultures created a rich and vibrant cultural tapestry that continues to shape African societies today. However, the arrival of Islam also brought challenges. The trans-Saharan slave trade, which had existed before Islam, intensified under Muslim rule, with devastating consequences for millions of Africans. The legacy of this trade continues to cast a long shadow over Africa. Despite these challenges, the arrival of Islam in Africa was a transformative event that shaped the continent's history in profound and enduring ways.